Hello, Henry from Belgium here. Today, I'm taking you back to the year 1996 for one of the most ambitious police-themed building sets in the classic LEGO Town line. LEGO Set 6598, Metro PD Station. This set includes a generous 552 pieces, including 8 minifigures. The whole setup radiates action and play value. For its time, this was a big and impressive project, and even today, it's a set that still stands out. I have it complete, with the box, manual, and all the parts. Loyal viewers know already that I have a sub-collection of all police stations from 1970 to 2000. And this set actually flew a bit under my radar, since I already have set 6,398 Central Precinct HQ from 1993. It is very similar, and even includes around 60 more pieces. It also comes with several vehicles, minifigures, and is built on 2 base plates. I notice a lot of similarities, especially in the minifigs. But since I have a sub-collection focused on police stations, this one obviously couldn't be missed either. I discovered it quite recently, and I'm going to build and evaluate the set with an open mind, and hopefully I'll discover some fun and surprising elements along the way. First, the box. It's still in a good shape, with just a small tear and a dent here and there. The front shows the full set in action. Buildings, vehicles, and minifigs, with a drawn blue sky and some apartment buildings in the background. The artwork is less realistic than in older sets. There's no kid playing with the set like we often saw on boxes from the 80s. The style leans a bit toward the look of Town Junior, but luckily it doesn't feel too childish. That's definitely a plus. I have a good feeling about the box, and about the rest of the packaging too. The plastic insert is still in place, and the well-known blue inner box is included as well. Here's a photo of the original packaging. The blister from this set is also missing, but that's something I've gradually come to accept. Very rarely, it's still included. Let me show you some interesting parts that make this set absolutely worth having. This 2 doors with trans light blue glass and the windows with center bar, and also trans light blue glass, are exclusive to this set. This light gray mast is also a unique piece that can only be found here. There are quite a few fun printed bricks included as well. They're not unique, but they are on the rarer side and only appear in a handful of sets. I'm sure there are plenty of other interesting parts in this set too, but I'll tell you more about those once I start building. Let's look at the minifigures, 8 in total. 2 of them are clearly motorcycle officers, identical in torso, helmet, and gear. A third figure, almost the same, is the helicopter pilot, recognizable by his black visor. Then there's a driver for the prison transport truck and one for the boat. They differ in cap color, and the boat driver obviously wears a life jacket. However, I do notice that my minifig on the right has a print on his black cap, which isn't correct. It should actually be a plain black one. Unfortunately, I don't have a spare one for the moment. The style of the prints feels a bit cartoonish for me. It is something I have to get used to, since I mostly collect 80s and early 90s sets. In those earlier sets, the minifigures have tighter and less playful prints. There's also a prison guard, Jailbreak Joe, and a female officer. I had seen all the torsos of these minifigures in the previous set, except for the female officer. While none of the individual parts are unique, this exact combination is. You'll only find this specific female minifig in this set. Personally, I find it a bit disappointing that none of the figures feature the classic smiley face. The instruction manual has 32 numbered pages. It's in a handy A4 format, clear and easy to follow. The colors are vibrant, and the instructions are well laid out. There's a lot to build. A prison transport, a boat, helicopter, a jail building on a separate base plate, and the main police station on a personalized plate with driveway. Building a 552-piece set is quite a project. I'll walk you through the different phases, starting on page 1. The 8 minifigs have already been built. I'll set them aside for now. Something I didn't expect to find in a set like this: a shark. It consists of 2 pieces and snaps together easily. It clearly belongs in the water section of the prison area. I mostly associate this animal with the pirates theme. Next up, 2 motorcycles. They're made from a pre-molded piece, the same type I remember from my childhood, in production since 1983. However, the wheel parts have changed over the years, from red to transparent. These are full option versions. Every stud is used for extra detail. The prison truck starts with a black chassis. The rest consists of classic parts, but the light gray color really stands out. I'd never seen doors in this shade before. Turns out they appear in only 4 different sets. Other elements, like the windows and the foldable roof, are also rarer in light gray. I really like the final look. The 2 barred windows are well chosen and fit the theme perfectly, and the sticker gives it a nice finishing touch. Still, I would have preferred a more realistic design with a barred door at the back, instead of a second flip open roof section. The hull of the boat is black, and the deck is white, a solid color scheme. However, the build is one I've done many times before, and doesn't offer much in terms of surprises. The level of detail is fairly average. Sure, there are 2 blue seats, a headlamp, some nice stickers, and even an extra life jacket. But it lacks printed bricks to represent navigation controls. A pity, since even boats from the early 80s had those. To me, it also lacks a bit of originality, and the courage to try a different design. This helicopter model is also one I've built before, so once again, there aren't many surprises. Still, along with the motorcycles, there are 5 vehicles in this set, which is quite impressive. So I don't want to sound negative. And honestly, this helicopter holds up fairly well. There are bricks for the front lights, gray cones at the rear, stickers on both sides, extra accessories on either side, and even control levers inside the cockpit. Despite the lack of innovation or original ideas, I'm still satisfied with the result. It's a realistic police helicopter with plenty of accessories. The color scheme, sleek black with a few well-placed accents, really works for me. Unfortunately, I noticed that the camera with side sight has been replaced by a white version. It should normally be in the rarer light gray color. So these are all the vehicles. Already a fun result? Each of them could easily be a mini set on its own, perfect for hours of play. But we're far from done, because the main attraction and the largest build is still to come. The main build consists of 2 parts, the police station and the jail, each built on a separate base plate. For the jail, I'm using a green 16x16 base plate. It's not rare, but it's refreshing to see a smaller build area again, instead of the usual 32x32. I start with the foundation using light grey bricks, and right away, I discover a fun play feature. The bed can be flipped up using a hinge, and underneath there's an arch brick that leads to the other side, where a roof piece can be opened. a secret escape route for the minifigure. It's a clever design, and it really boosts the play value of this section. I can already imagine all kinds of fun storylines. The prison is gradually taking shape, and the main entrance has also been well thought out. There's a small dock with a gate and a printed brick next to it. You can play that the gate opens automatically when you push on the brick. The design of the prison door itself is also well done. It's actually made of 2 ladder pieces, and by using this element that you can rotate in 2 positions, the door can either be open or closed. Personally, I find it a pity that the door is made up of 2 parts. A single large door piece would have felt more imposing to me, but I suspect such an element either doesn't exist or wasn't feasible for this design. Here too, just like with the prison transport truck, the more valuable light gray elements and bricks are the main components, complemented by black accents. When I make a video, I usually build the set for the first time, just like today. This way, I can share my opinion with an open mind and leave room for spontaneous observations. However, the downside is that I often discover things that aren't correct and that I hadn't noticed when buying the set, even though the seller assured me everything was fine. It proves once again that you should always check everything very carefully. The mast used here is definitely a highlight for collectors who are hunting for unique pieces, because you can only find it in this set. Fun fact, 1 year later, this same part was produced in both blue and red. Again, each appearing in just 1 set. 2 diver sets I already own, and which I have reviewed on my channel. The end result is definitely creative, playful, and with some nice decorative flair. But there's a lot going on in a relatively compact space. I think that here there was room for extras, when I see how much base plate is still unused. The jail could have been a few rows wider, or maybe something creative could have been added to visually connect it to the water, like they did on this side. Or a staircase, for example. But it's a fun and creative build with great play features and a well-chosen color combination of light gray and black. For the police station, I need a road 32 by 32 base plate with a light gray driveway pattern. It's a very straightforward piece. No markings, no stone pattern, just a plain gray driveway. You'd think it's a simple and common base plate, but it actually only appears in 3 sets. I recognize it, among others, from the iconic hospital set released in 1987. The process of building the station is pretty standard. I've built quite a few police and fire sets before, and the formula is usually the same. A station with a garage attached. In this case, it will be more of a carport with a barrier. You can immediately tell this is a set from the 1990s. Instead of the usual 1x1 or 2x1 bricks, this one includes quite a few 1x5 and 2x5 bricks. That makes both the ground floor and the first floor come together very quickly, especially with the use of several pre-assembled window elements. Of course, we still have to build the top floor and finish everything off, but we can already compare it to its predecessor from 1993. Back then, I found the challenge a bit greater and more interesting. This set consists of 2 buildings connected by a staircase. I had to do a bit more puzzling and figuring out. But on the other hand, we've already built the separate jail building in this set. And I do appreciate that the designers tried to bring something new to the table here. The combination with water is quite original, even though this isn't technically a harbor set. It gives a unique appeal of having 2 distinct structures, divided by water, so it's hard to compare them directly. Despite it has a modern look for the time, the basic structure still feels familiar. Personally, I think it could have been just a bit more innovative or extravagant. That said, I don't want to be overly critical. And maybe you shouldn't try to change something too much if it's already proven to work well. There are some fun design choices and nice details to discover. The barrier, for instance, it's cleverly done with a tile attached to a hinge plate. The interior also feels well thought out. There's a front desk with a computer, a city map on the wall, a coffee machine, swivel chairs, and even a complete floor with forensic evidence. It all adds to the atmosphere. I'm especially a fan of the unique doors and the more unusual windows. These windows feature extra horizontal bars, something I hadn't seen before, and they're nicely finished with stickers. And the gray dock element, with some additional decoration, really helps emphasize the land and water theme visually. So overall, I'd say this was a pretty successful build. Still, there's one thing I have to mention. And the designers surely must have noticed this as well. There's no helipad, even though the set includes a helicopter. That empty rooftop would have been perfect for it, especially with a bit of creative modification. To me, it feels like they ran out of budget and just left it as it was. Even with that minor shortcoming, and the fact that the police station build itself wasn't all that challenging, I still had a great time. There's just a lot to do, and that makes it feel satisfying overall. By adding this set to my collection, I thought I had finally completed my sub-collection of police stations. But further research revealed another set released in 1998, 6332, Command Post Central. Visually, it doesn't really resemble a classic police station anymore. I'm not quite sure yet if that's the kind of evolution I'm looking for. I guess I'll only know once I track it down. And I will, if I want my sub-collection to be truly complete. Anyway, I'm wrapping up on a positive note with one last look at 6598, Metro PD Station. Despite its classic layout, it has a modern vibe and includes lots of fun elements. It's not the most groundbreaking or refined build, but you definitely get a lot. Lots of minifigs, lots of vehicles, and plenty of play features. So yes, it absolutely deserves a permanent place in my collection. Let me know in the comments what you think of this set, and don't forget to subscribe for more vintage LEGO content. It's completely free. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.